right, special treat here for the last game as I am joined by none other than Commissioner Jonathan Henschel.
How are we?
Doing fantastic. Excited for this one, John. Should be a really good game as we suddenly just turned into a very competitive league as a lot of 2-1 teams after today's games.
Yeah, we'll certainly be talking about it on the podcast. Parity is the word of the week here. If you're 2-0 on the day, or 2-0 coming into the day, you have a 1-3 record. The Nets will look to break that streak here.
Chills off the bat with a 3 as Alex Thorson quickly answers his drives and kicks. Some new faces for the Rockets today, John. Why don't you let us know on some of these new guys who they added over the weekend?
Yeah, number 11, Josh Saltzgaber, graduate assistant at Olivet for the football team. He's a good athlete, strong guy. And then probably the big addition, number 13, Hunter Jacobs. I don't know that he's in tip-top shape necessarily, but his pedigree playing at Olivet and having the ball in his hands, he's going to be a huge help down on the block, I think.
Tone Marshall. I am excited to watch this man play.
Yeah.
He's one of the most electric players in the league.
And I think the big storyline here right now is no Martavius Laster that we're seeing, and I think that gives, at least on the perimeter, the edge to Antonio Marshall. But Sammy Hines will have something to say about that, won't he?
Yes, he will. I wasn't even watching more, but Sammy Hines to them is basically their MVP. Obviously Sammy can show up and play, but no Martavius. They could be in trouble against this, I think, scrappy Rockets team.
Yeah, you definitely favor the experience and the depth of the Nets, but without Laster, I think this could be a very, very, very competitive game. With Thorson, Marshall, speaking of him, and Jacobs, I think this could very much be a competitive game. Tough call against Harris there. It's been several of those today. To me, that's the hardest call in the game. I don't necessarily envy anyone making that call.
No, but Tone kind of setting the tone early. Very nice.
You've been rehearsing that all week. You're not fooling anyone.
But yeah, Antonio's kind of setting the tone for his team right now. A couple good takes. He's gonna push the tempo better than any guard in the league, and yeah, we'll see kind of how some of these new guys, Hunter Jacobs, Josh, and the guards they have returning, do against this savvy veteran, Nets team.
It's going to take some time to process the day. This has been a high emotion, high energy filled day, as we kind of figured it would be. Couple, I guess, upset record-wise in the last couple of games, and we just got this cluster of teams at the top of the standings. There's 5 teams at 2-1. Right now, the Nets are tied for first. Lakers are 3-0. The Nets are 2-0. The Rockets have a chance to force a 7-way 2-1 tie for second. Could you imagine that?
That would be something that the league needs it. It's good for the league to see a lot of even teams. I was saying before last game, it may seem early in the league, but these are the games that could make or break a 4 or 5 seed or maybe a 10 or 11 seed. All these games are huge, so it doesn't matter who you're playing or when you're playing. Every game is important in this league.
What a huge rebound and finish. Unbelievable is Tone Marshall. I'm going to talk about Mook Lawrence for a second. He had a great season back in the fall of 21. Didn't have such a great season in the spring of 22. Now he's back here off to an incredible start through 2 games. He's been their clear number 3 so far, if not part of their 1-2-3 punch. His ability to crash the boards and just never stops is his motor, is huge for them, and they're going to need him today.
You knew it from the get-go. He was short. Hunter Jacobs, the board, crafty post player, hustles and gets his own rebound.
And we got ourselves a game early on here.
Yes, it's going to be. I've seen some of these guys play before. Alex Thorson and Tone. They're very competitive guys. So starting the league 1 and 2 is something that this team does not want to do. And without Martavius, an upset could be on the rise. Sammy's fouled. Good call there. But yeah, I guess the storyline could be who will emerge as the second scorer. I see Maurice Terrell, just putting the sneakers on over there, just tying him up, and Ronnie Jackson, I think one of the better bench guards in the league.
He's your Lou Williams, is he not? He loves coming off the bench, one of the best 6 men in the league.
I think the scoring could fall on his shoulders late in the game, as he's kind of a guy who can create for his own shot. But we shall see. Tone's got the ball here. Rockets lead by 1 early on.
It's a good pass, just couldn't come up with it. Love the composure. They were not. I believe Marshall was a GA for Hunter. They might have had a year of overlap there, but no, Marshall's a couple years older. Yeah, I think Sammy Hines is the X factor in this game, as well as it looks like Thorsten's a little banged up on his foot or ankle there, as he gets the pass from Marshall.
Three is up, and that's in and out. Chills again, the rebound. Nets don't run frequently, but good tip there by Josh.
A play by Saltzgaber.
Saltzgaber, okay, I'm going to have to practice that a few times.
Well, Euro said it at the same time. What I love about Marshall, he plays with composure. He doesn't ever seem phased, and they're going to run this offense through him. No surprise. How about as I say that,
I was literally just going to say tough matchup for Chills to be on Antonio, but I mean he's held his own against him when he's guarding one-on-one.
If you haven't noticed, look at the shorts the Nets are rocking. Team shorts sponsored by Coco's Closet. That's a great outfit, isn't it? All gray, I should say.
Jared Harris. I mean, we kind of forget about Jared. He kind of falls under the cracks sometimes, but he's also a good scorer, and he drives, and 2 shots coming for Jared.
Jared's as good as anybody around the rim. He has a great feel for the ball, great feel for just where he is in comparison to the hoop. He had 10 points last week. He didn't play in their first game. For the Rockets, what will help them is A, not playing 2 games today, and B, they have 7 guys instead of 6. Delano Samuels and Brajan Thomas about to check in here off the bench. Thorsten looks a little banged up to me.
I don't know if it was his ankle, maybe he pulled a muscle. Maybe it was his calf. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he's definitely laboring a little bit. Samuels checks in, and Ivan Glenn.
Yes.
And Brajan. Good scorers, we all know.
I think the question for the Rockets is, are they going to be able to consistently score the ball this season? If there's one thing we know about the Nets, they are statistically the best defensive team in the K1 League this year.
Great defense. Baseball pass over to Mook.
Great pass.
And
good call.
Was it a foul?
He got him. I believe that's on Delano Samuels.
Mook Lawrence. But like you said, I think Mook's emergence, for me, has been the biggest reason why they are 2-0. He's been.
I agree, 100%.
Offensively, and I think he's going to be a huge factor today.
That'll be his first take.
Good start for him.
So you have the Nets last year were the second best defensive team in the league behind the Super Spurs, who were the best in every category possible. And this year, only a small sample size through 2 games, but they're the best defensive team in the league. Wouldn't surprise me. As Mook just soars up. Got to be 3 seconds soon as he gets out of there.
There's only a handful of guys in the league who can and will make that play, and that's one of those guys is definitely Mook.
Good double from Brajan. Try to force a turnover.
It's going on in that corner. Good
the old dead spot. Good take, but good defense by Jacobs. That should stay with the Nets. Nice to see our sponsors make their teams look good. Memorable Apparel fitting the Spurs with some pretty sweet warm-ups, and then get these shorts here for the Nets. Only the second team with team shorts. Of course, the Bucks now for 2 years have had team shorts.
Of course, as Lonzo Mason can't get it to go. One of the more lethal shooters. We've seen him have huge games, and he's not afraid to let it fly ever.
Can never forget his game 2 years ago against the Suns. I believe he hit 15 three-pointers.
Did he have 60, or how many points did he have?
I believe he had either 49 or 51. I don't remember.
I thought he was closer to 60, but maybe not.
Well, that's because you're thinking of Brian Hernandez last year, who had 59 points.
God. Is that still the K1 high?
That's a foul there on Harris. It is a K1 high. Brian Hernandez faced off.
Jared Harris, that'd be his second foul.
Apologize if there were some technical difficulties from Caleb. Maybe the mic was a little far from. I promise he was saying good things if you couldn't hear him, as Ivan Glenn is long on his first free throw attempt.
Can you hear me now?
Try and get some confirmation.
Been a good first half so far. First 10 minutes. Rockets hanging in there. Again, kind of like the Nets like a low-scoring battle.
Yeah, they're very much at home. I think of them kind of as them and the Lakers as sort of your home teams in this gym. Always get a lot of fan support. I think it is. That's just a great pass inside. Oh, good defense by Jacobs. That's the correct call, I believe.
Yep.
Fantastic job by Aaron Cunningham, sort of spearheading the efforts up here in the booth. Got some good-looking overlay graphics this year. We've got logos and colors and score and time running down. Just fantastic. And thank you to our sponsors. This man on fire for the Rockets, Coco's Closet, who we already mentioned for the Nets. CJ, how are the Rockets going to score outside of Antonio Marshall?
I mean, the funny thing is I think a lot of their better players aren't necessarily known as scorers. I think Thorson's a great player, but
fantastic distributor, sure.
And I haven't seen Hunter Jacobs play, but he's a big man, good role player. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be a lot of tone, and hopefully Bergeron can get going a little bit. Some of their shooters, maybe.
Great hands from Wills.
Josh stumbles in the paint. No shot clock here. Is patiently waiting for the three, and he hits.
Thorson had position on the inside. He just goes to shoot the ball, thinking if he misses, he'll get the rebound. And that only thing that missed was the rim, as it was nothing but net.
Sammy Hines kind of gave him the nod of approval. I see you from there, and won't give him that shot again. As good defense.
And Sammy Hines returns the favor in the face.
15-12. Brajon's first action. About takes a spill, and he walks.
Traveling violation.
Just didn't know what to do there. This is every bit of a Nets game written all over it. Low scoring, passing the ball, sharing the ball, playing unselfish. Oh, that is tough from Samuel Hines.
Yeah, that's maybe not the shot the Nets were looking for that possession.
Marshall just orchestrating the offense like a conductor from the volleyball line.
Chills, he's kind of taking on the...
He sure is.
He wants to guard him, which, I mean, you got to give him credit. It's definitely one of the hardest guards in the league, and he's taking on full head of steam. See what Tone does here with the isolation. Waiting for anything as he pulls another three, in and out.
Almost buying his team a little bit of a breather there is Mr. Marshall. You notice the way they move the ball when Thorson is out there, even if he's not at 100%. I think it's extremely valuable for them to have him on the court.
Yeah, and the thing about Tone is he's probably one of the smartest players in the league. As Brajon Thomas takes it all the way coast to coast.
Scores a time or two.
He knows what his team needs and when they need it. So be on the lookout for him to kind of just control the pace of this game. As if he gets tired, his team gets tired. Oh, good defense off the aggressive double team.
And they almost forced a turnover. And I believe it was knocked out of his hands.
Nets retain the ball. We'll see our first action of Maurice Terrell.
The big man himself.
He is loading there, and football guy Josh is going to be matched with him, and they passed it in.
They got 6 guys.
They do indeed have 6 on the court. Should be a technical.
And Mr. Marshall's going to shoot some free throws, yeah.
Huge break there for the Rockets. They can potentially take the lead and get the ball. So
number 6 on the court.
Potentially a 5 or 6 point swing here, depending on how you look at it. Oh, one shot.
Well, initially I thought the Rockets were yelling at each other about defensive assignments as Mr. Mason was left wide open.
Realized they didn't have enough players to guard all 6 players in the court.
If anything, they were hoping for them to inbound the ball, knowing they would get a point and the ball out of it.
And it will be Rockets ball, so they can in fact take the lead here with 6 minutes to go in the first half. I've loved this first half. It's kind of been a unique half from what we've seen most.
Not quite like the Heat Bulls game, eh?
No, even Bucks Suns was high scoring. Lakers Grizzlies was a competitive up tempo game, not necessarily high scoring, but very high tempo. As a foul call.
Oh, Chills is
break two possessions in a row here for the Nets.
So that, to me, from where I'm at, looked like fantastic defense. What we couldn't tell from here was did he hit his arm or not. His reaction tells me he felt like he hit the ball. hard to say from our angle, but Chills just does not back down from anybody. We've seen him guard Seth Johnson for 40 minutes.
And maybe the ball doesn't lie. I don't know.
Some people do say that, don't they?
But Rajon, a good shooter, good free throw shooter here, so maybe see he can get second one. Give the Rockets the lead.
They're going to be, I think, so many single-digit games this year with the parity that we have. If the Nets could get to 3-0, I mean, with wins over the Pistons and the Suns, two of the bigger teams in the league, and then win a game without Laster, you'd have to say the Nets start would be second to none. And guess who? Getting an offensive rebound, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah, and if you notice there, John, terrible pass. If you notice there, John, the Rockets were in a zone. They went to a 3-2 zone. Nets were all over. We're calling it out as Ronnie Jackson.
Good board from Marshall.
Mid-range this year a little bit, but Nets were all over it. Knew it was coming. Didn't matter as Tone Marshall.
And Antonio.
2 point lead for the Rockets. They've done this though, John. They hung in there against the Spurs.
They did.
They controlled the whole first half against the Celtics. So hopefully they're just a first half team.
Nice pass from Lawrence. Forgot to rebound. Oh my goodness! Nets are self-destructing here.
3-on-1. Josh gets the 2 points. Good, strong take inside.
Salts.
Salty for 2.
Gaber. Walt calls him Salty to avoid botching the last name.
Salty. That name may just stick here. As the Nets all of a sudden kind of look out of sorts.
They sure do. Well, Sammy Hines comes out of the game, and things have not gone well the last few minutes for the Nets. 19-15. We're not 3 minutes into the game. We have 3 minutes left in the first half. It's exactly the type of game that the Rockets needed. It's exactly the type of game the Rockets needed to play to have a chance here. Good board from Harris. It's going to be their Achilles heel, I think, interior rebounding for the Rockets. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're playing volleyball now. I think maybe the only team that crashes the boards better than the Nets is the Heat. The Heat sure do that well.
He's on fire, guys.
Probably 4 possessions there when you factor in the offensive rebounding.
Marshall, big possession here for the Rockets.
2:50 to play here.
Speed advantage maybe on Maurice Terrell, but he steps back and nails a 3.
And Hunter Jacobs for 3.
He's kind of a guy that, again, no one really knows about right now, and Maurice Terrell knows about him now after that 3.
Yeah, Jacobs living down in the Champaign area. Said he's going to make as many games as he can, and I think that's a big piece for them, and he's only going to get better as he gets into shape and learns to play with some of these guys. That's got to be Rockets. Yep. Brajon's a good rebounder for his size. But there he didn't put a body. He just tried to jump up, and he got bailed out. I have not seen the Rockets turn around and actually physically put their backside on somebody here, rebounding a whole lot. And they're going to need to do that. You get a couple of those from Thorson every game. And that's going to be an assist, believe it or not.
3.
Unconscious for me.
Walks into it, and it's an 8-point game, John.
8-point lead for the Rockets, would you believe it? And now we're taking bad shots. That's huge from Harris.
And Jared Harris inside off the rebound.
Foul by Ronnie Jackson. Not a great foul, but the clock continues to move, which...
And that's a foul on number 5, Maurice Terrell.
Don't think there's much to complain about here early on with the officiating.
I think they've done a pretty fine job. I mean, I think the Nets are just a physical team, John. I mean, they attack the rebounds, they attack the
oh my goodness!
Thorson.
And 1 by Alex Thorson. Foul on number 4, Sammy Hines.
To the approval of assistant coach Dan Laurent over there on the bench. 8-point Rockets lead out of nowhere.
Flexes on them, and he's one to not shy away from talking.
There's Sammy Hines with the official here. He's not happy.
Yeah, again, like it's been a pretty competitive first half, pretty well balanced, I think, in terms of officiating. Nothing to scoff about, but
it's a 6-4 the fouls here in the first half.
Nets feel like they've been
great take from Harris. I mean, the Rockets have hit a couple big shots, and I don't think the Nets have taken the best shots. A little bit out of characteristic for them. See if the the Rockets are going to hold here for the last shot.
Rajon's got it.
Not going to promise anything, but it does appear this will be our last week without shot clocks, which will help out a lot of people, and especially in situations like this. Hopefully the last first half of a game without a shot clock.
There are times where teams can literally hold it for 2 minutes if they want to.
We saw that earlier in that Suns-Bucks game.
I thought maybe it could have been.
Good block from Sammy. That's how the half will end.
Neither team is really happy right now after how this finished, but
Well,
Nets got to regroup here, only down 7 going into the second half.
we'll take a 3-minute break and be back with you. Appreciate you guys listening with us. Rockets 28, Nets 21, and a football score at halftime. We'll be back with you.
Testing 1, 2. We got some mic changes here in the first half, or at halftime, so we're trying something new here. So bear with us as we work through this. We appreciate Aaron a lot right now, so hopefully you can hear us both better as we're going to try and combo this second half here. As Rockets, I don't think we're ready defensively. Is an easy 2 points for Sammy
Let me
Hines.
say this, the Nets are going to go on one of those runs they always go on. They're a second half team. They've got the veteran leadership of Chills Wills along with other guys, and their adjustments last week in the second half against the Suns, I still can't believe it. I mean, to me, the Suns are a superior team to the Nets in terms of athleticism. They have more height, a little bit better on the boards, but the way the Nets played together and made those adjustments in the second half last week, credit to them. We're going to see it from them again. It's going to be interesting to see how the Rockets respond to it.
And I will say, I did notice Mook Lawrence did take off his headband. A huge storyline to look into, as he looks pretty dialed in right now. He wants the matchup of guarding Tone, which I'm not sure why he didn't start on him to start with. I mean, he's a great defender, one of the league's best.
Got a text from Dre that the audio is better, so you're not just hearing me. Thank goodness for your guys' sake. You're hearing CJ as well.
I think John.
Here comes that run.
I think John just wanted the microphone to himself. So he is the commissioner, by the way. He pays the bills. Oh, good behind the back move. Thorson hesitated from 3.
This might be the most unselfish team in the league, as Ivan Glenn does not hesitate to fire.
Here we go. A couple possessions in the game.
It feels like it's going to take a lot of things for the Rockets to pull this off, but they still have the lead, and they still have the best player on the court, Antonio Marshall.
I think the Nets should kind of realize the importance of this game, and realizing that they can get to 3-0, and a win over a team like the Rockets, who may end up being a top 5 or 6 team, could be huge for the standing. As Lonzell Mason drives and kicks. Chills, good possession here for the Nets. They need a bucket. As Chills blow by Harris. Jump ball should stay here.
I believe that's a jump ball, correct?
Yep, jump ball, so it should stay here. Possession arrow. Oh, they reward that timeout.
They do grant the timeout.
That's a big play, actually, because now it saves the jump ball, because the possession remains with the Nets. And they get a quick breather here. So
tailoring to women of all shapes, styles, and sizes. Find them on social media at Shop Coco Closet.
Appreciate our sponsors. Thank you, Walt.
And the Rockets are sponsored by Man on Fire. This organization helps illuminate the light of Christ by offering a fun, spiritual way for kids to play and learn at the same time. To get a call, go to manonfire4c.com.
Quick timeout as Rockets coming out on the court.
It's always interesting. Before the start of the day, you look ahead to week 4 and you think lots of different things, and then after the way week 3 has gone, I feel like I view week 4 very differently. It's the start of good hands by Marshall.
Yeah, good idea by Sammy, but look at this guy. He's a blur with the left hand.
Antonio Marshall is a dart down the court as he finishes the 2.
Antonio Marshall, my goodness.
Felt like he was pushed from behind, and I would probably second that.
It's got to be the Sammy Hines show the second half. Chills Wills, the
pass.
3 is good.
From downtown.
Big time 3 from Chills, the savvy veteran.
You took the words right out of my mouth. What a
He's been
great
in
play
many
from Harris.
many spots like this before. As Glenn may not have been the shot they wanted, but man, Josh's Salzburger's been all over the place.
Gaber.
Well, it's Gaber, not Burger.
Does sound good.
Could use a burger right now.
Absolutely.
But he's kind of been their glue guy this half. Rebounding, getting good passes, a couple good buckets. So
Thorson is moving better. He was pretty
likes the ISO
gingerly
here.
moving for a while.
Tough stare down three. It's good.
And Alex Thorson with the tough three in the face.
In the face, says Walt. Some talking going on. Thorson again is never shy to talk.
Look at these two veterans.
Chills Will scores again.
I'm enjoying that matchup.
And Chills Wills with the bucket inside.
Chills holding his own, if not more than that.
This is a fascinating game, but I still think it's anyone's game. I think the Rockets haven't flinched. And with a guy like Antonio Marshall, he could put up 30 in a heartbeat. And he's dribbling off the court, apparently.
He couldn't last week. He only put up 28 and 29 in their doubleheader.
Wide open is Glenn. Just hasn't gotten it going for them.
It's a good look. Yeah, hasn't gotten one to fall.
Lawrence the quick three for the tie. That wasn't it. Maybe the shot the Nets wanted there. He's a good shooter, but quick look.
There's no question the Rockets want to slow this game down. I think every game they play, they're going to want to slow down. The way they pass the ball and the way they move, I think they're going to be the MO in their offense.
He's dead in the corner. Lobs it up. Here comes Antonio Marshall to stare down the top of the key three. Knew it was short from the moment he left his hands. Second chance points for the Rockets. Not kind of rare to come by. They don't have a ton of size, but I think they hustle better than anyone in the league from what I've seen so far. Tone. Oh, good defense. Chills read that like a book.
Not his first rodeo.
Hunter Jacobs.
And their percentage for three is not great.
It's kind of a miracle that they've hung on to this lead.
Great
Sammy Hines, 2 shots coming here to chip into it.
And that'd be a foul on number 11, Josh Salty. That'll be his second foul. His third foul. Team first.
Saltz, Gaber.
The Nets will play the Heat in week 4.
Always looking ahead, are you?
Always looking ahead. The Nets and the Heat's had an instant classic last year in overtime. The Nets edged the Heat, I believe it was 64-59 in a low-scoring game. Just two teams who don't have a big man, but they crash the boards.
I think the Heat season kind of turned around a little bit today. That big win against the Bulls. Still think the Bulls are a very, very talented team.
Best 0-3 team in league history, without question.
But I just think both teams play desperate, and man, the Heat, you could tell one of that one really bad.
At this point, someone's going to have to walk up to CJ Link and take the Player of the Week award out of his hands because he had an unbelievable game. 30 points.
Latrell Tidwell, I mean, I guess I wasn't there for that game, but Latrell Tidwell might have something to say about that one after his performance against the Spurs. Look, Lawrence banging around inside. Some contact.
The side of the backboard there.
And a foul by Lonzale. Don't want the intentional.
Number 21, Lonzale Mason.
His competitive spirit's definitely coming out today.
Very cerebral foul from Mr. Mason there. Rockets will take on your Bucks in week 4 in the finale of the day. Mr. Jacobs learning to play in the carpet
rebound by Samuels.
Samuels
Misses everything there. I mean, this is your classic, like, Big Ten, just low-scoring, rock fight, defensive battle here. You'll love to see the defense.
Forget a Big Ten basketball game a couple years ago when on going to break, the announcer said, bruised, battered, but you're in the Big Ten, big fella, and that's what we got here, a little bruising and battering in a 33
Sammy Hines, the
points
spin
apiece
cycle.
ball game. Spinorama.
Yeah, again, he's going to be their X factor down the stretch these last 12 minutes. Thorson, easy, 2 and 1.
Foul and 1. Foul on number 0, McLawrence.
Good take by Thorson there.
And a tough day to be an official for these two, and I there's been a lot in both games, and really now all 3 games. A lot of player dialogue to the officials. That's not me commenting on how they've officiated. Just
Nope.
A lot of players have come up to them and have asked for a lot of things today. I think they're going to sleep well tonight.
Yes, is the free throws no good? Yeah, the Suns are right up there with every team who talks to the officials, and
Absolutely.
And I think some of our guys even were frustrated.
Hits it all the way down for 2 points.
The Spurs obviously have some gripes, but again, they've done a fair job. I think the right team's won. The better team has won every game so far today. Just that's how it's been. And Brazion can't get it to go. Jacobs
And that's
does.
the impact Jacobs can make on the inside right there.
And Hunter Jacobs, the points inside.
And so far,
Quick
What a
tempo from
great
Ronnie
defense.
Jackson, and
Thorson doesn't box him out.
look, battling inside. Someone's open. Mason, the top of the key 3. Yikes.
Interesting series of events there.
The crowd wanted them to make that one. Top of the key, open. He had Jacobs open at the top. Brazion with a tough fadeaway. No numbers here for the Nets, so might want to pull it out here. Wisely does.
They want to switch that. Well, they're going to do it because of
And
this.
Maurice
What a pass.
Terrell, that was a wild turn of events there. Is
It's happening right now.
ball's bouncing and it somehow ends in the McLawrence, and he's got 2 shots coming. So, I mean, this game, first to 45 might win this thing, John.
That'll be his first foul.
Yeah, we are 3/4 of the way, and we got ourselves a 37-35 ball game.
You're not wrong, though. I think if this favors anyone, it favors the Nets, as they have played probably about a dozen of these games over the last 3 leagues. The slow, low-scoring games. But they are missing their closer, John, in Martavis Laster. So I think Sammy is that guy for them today, and he can be. But can Ronnie Jackson, can Jared Harris, can these guys make plays for them late in the game? McLawrence, swish. 1-point game, John. 10 minutes to go. This is winning time here. Last half of the second half.
It's going to be interesting to see if anyone steps up for the Rockets outside of the Thorson, Marshall, Jacobs tandem. Unbelievable pass.
Samuels couldn't corral
Didn't know what
it.
to do with where he was at under the rim. Almost an uncomfortable position, I think.
Behind the back pass.
Probably not the time to be doing that in a 37-36 game here.
He's got a
Great
count,
take.
and man alive.
Antonio
Marshall cannot buy a foul, and he finishes anyways.
It's a 3-point game.
Thorson, the ultimate hype man for
The double is coming.
Great double.
Terrell,
Probably
good
the right
driving
pass,
kick.
yes.
They need it.
Great
and
pass.
they get it.
Hits the 3-ball to fall.
Sammy Hines strums the guitar as he nails the 3 to tie the game. Man, this has been a very good game.
Absolutely feels like a swing game in the K1 League. 2-0, taking on 1-1. 39 apiece, just under 9 to play.
Josh Saltz. Good, strong take, but it's on the pass, so it should be side out or baseline out here for the Rockets.
Side baseline now.
Side baseline out. It is going to be baseline out of bounds here. Thorson takes it out.
There's some guys with the hands on their knees for the Rockets. Might want to start
Yeah,
using those timeouts.
Oh, what a pass. What a one-handed catch and scoop there, Tone Marshall.
And they're going to give him 2 free throws.
Number 0,
I mean, it absolutely was a shooting
That'll
foul.
be his second foul. Team 4.
Tone Marshall can give the Rockets the lead again. I mean, you love to see these games where a lot of lead changes, a lot of ties, and I think we're in for a lot more lead changes down the stretch here.
Certainly still have some stats to enter. One of the things I've noticed through 3 weeks, some incredible individual scoring performances. Marshall last week goes 29-28 to start off his K1 career, which is
He might
going to
be
be hard
gonna-
to sustain.
Well, I mean, he's probably got to have a close to that today. A couple threes, a couple free throws. I mean, he's got to be up close to 20. Mismatch.
goodness.
Sammy Hines.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo! Like I said, they need a closer, and it might be this man, Samuel Hines.
Mark Connor, not too shabby. He started 25, 39, and 16 in his K1 career, so he's 26.7 through 3 points a game, or through 3 games.
I think both those guys might be gunning for MVP. It could be a very competitive race, and Samuels
knocks
three.
it down. The Rockets are going to have to hit probably 3 or 4 of those down the stretch if they want to pull this off, and there's one of them.
Hines been their guy. Who's going to step up? Is it Ronnie Jackson? Not that possession.
Good board from Jacobs. He closed off Terrell and said, "You're not getting this ball." Look at this matchup. Maurice Terrell and Alex Thorson. The worst thing you could do is settle for a jump shot here. Oh, and he throws it away instead.
That might be worse, John.
That might be worse than settling for a jump shot.
Look,
had a
Nets
double.
may have numbers. Chills drawn off the line, and 2 points is not good. Big miss from Chills Wills.
Nice outlet to Marshall. He's running.
Dangerous.
Oh, he's unstoppable in transition.
Did you just miss
Heard that one from here.
Sammy Hines, the stare down three is long. Rockets get the ball. Jared Harris coming back in the game.
I think that's the right time to use it. 5:58
Timeout by the Rockets.
left to play.
41.
This
Rockets
is a
lead.
good old-fashioned bare-knuckled brawl here in the K1 gym. Rockets up by 3. We will take a brief break as well.
Big stretch of basketball here.
You say that again.
I think it's still anyone's game as a turnover. I mean, out of a timeout, you cannot afford that. And what a run here from Maurice Terrell. Need a bucket. Sammy Hines has been hot, and he continues it. Sammy Hines.
This could come down to the Hines and Marshall show. 5:30 to play.
I hope Martavis Lasser is out here watching somewhere and cheering his boys on. He knows Sammy's got this in him, as Sammy Hines he's got his fingertips all over this one. I'd keep feeding it to him. Hot hand, does he keep it going? He does! Sammy Hines! There's some magic with this Nets team this year, John.
Nothing but net for the Nets. Somebody guard that man if you're on the Rockets. And it's danger time now.
I mean, the Suns experienced the same exact, overflow of momentum from the Nets last week. What seemed like a sure win for the Suns. I mean, an avalanche of threes and energy from the Nets stormed back and won the game. I mean, with those 2 threes from Sammy, they're kind of on track to do the same thing against the Rockets today. This man can end a run himself as he gets
the matchup they wanted.
Exactly the switch they wanted to get here.
I think Delano needs to.
Sammy's creeping.
Nice
Finds
pass.
Salt. Garber. Big 3, no. Jacobs. Thorson finds the open man in the easy 2.
And Josh Salty with the layup inside.
We've said his last name about 4 different times. They might have to resort to Salty. You called him Garber that time.
What is it?
Salt's Gaber.
Salt's Gaber. Oh my
With
gosh.
a massive
Josh.
layup.
I know Josh pretty well, so I apologize, Josh, if you watch the film.
I'm messing with you. He's playing some big minutes for them
He
today.
is. He's been huge. He's been a good glue guy.
Call him the glue guy, yes. 1 point game.
Every team needs a guy like that.
No one else you want the ball in your hands here than Mr. Marshall. He's going to get a screen. He's going to be on Terrell again. That's what they've been looking for here in the second half.
Calling the switch out. Big stop there for the Nets. Ronnie Jackson slows it down, crosses over, floater is good.
And Coach Jackson inside.
Ronnie Jackson, he's been here, done that many times.
It's a Ronnie Jackson special right there. Reese is not slowing down. He is.
And that was just matching up on him straight up. Tough pass. Hunter Jacobs has the ball.
I think that's a great guy for Hines to be guarding.
Double team comes. Thorson, a huge shot coming up here. Just short. Tone Marshall.
3 minutes to play.
Stare down three. Yes, it's going to be short as well. The legs are starting to maybe fade for these guys as a scrum thrown off the head of Hunter Jacobs.
Ow.
Look, Lawrence, that isn't the first time I've seen him do something like that. As Maurice Terrell gets a break, Jared Harris might be the closer here. This is a pretty good
big
closing
minutes for
unit.
Terrell, I would
yeah,
say.
He
Big
played
minutes for
fantastic.
Maurice.
Defensively, not giving an inch. Rebounding. If I'm the Nets, though, I gotta go give Sammy Hines a touch right now.
How about the Nets? Just one of two undefeated teams here. They're trying to pull out another massive win. This one's coming down to the wire.
Chills. Step back. It's not there.
I think that's a pretty good shot, though. He's taken that a
Yeah.
couple million times in his career.
I'll take that shot, but I really think every possession right now, Sammy Hines needs to get at least a touch. He didn't touch the ball that whole possession on offense. And again, I like the shot from Chills there, but you got to get Sammy a touch and maybe give him a chance to score or dish out as Maurice Terrell's active on the bench right now. A rare miss.
Not the time for that.
Rare miss from Tonio Marshall. Free throw's good. 2-point game, 2-point lead for the Nets. And Sammy Hines has the ball. This is the matchup that he's been wanting, and foul. 2 shots coming here for Sammy Hines.
He's been every bit of the MVP for the Nets today.
By far.
No live stats, but he's got to have half their points, I think, with how he's played.
Definitely has at least 20. And I don't think he's going to be done anytime soon. With 146 to go. Wow. I think Josh has 4 fouls, which I think he's going to make it count. Splits the free throws. He's had his troubles from the free throw line in his career here. There's no doubt about it.
Clock is not running, unfortunately.
Clock is not moving. This is not good.
Clock!
That was about, I don't know, 15 seconds, Sean. What do you think?
1-3-1.
See what the officials come up with.
Clock. You never want to see something like that in a game like this. You got to be on their game. And you see it's again. John, here's where the shot clock comes into factor here.
Absolutely, every bit
You
of
can
it.
literally hold the ball for the last minute 40 if they wanted to. Sammy Hines
That's a huge
decides
miss.
not to.
And they've got numbers.
Cannot
Huge miss.
complain here. Thorson waits for his guy.
Oh, he gets the
With the and one inside.
Unbelievable finish.
Here is the Rockets a 2-point deficit, but he can tie it up here.
It's actually a 1-point deficit. It's 50 to
1-point
49.
deficit.
Walter's very good at math.
Antonio Marshall can tie the game.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
What a stretch. It seems like the Nets just cannot avoid a close game.
Marshall's done a nice job of getting downhill the whole game, and he felt like probably 5 of his first 6 drives he was hit without anything called. The last 3, I believe, if not 4,
And the ball
he's been given the foul, and I mean he's done a better job of drawing the contact.
Oh, and Tone almost steals it.
Who can pull this last game of the day out?
No need
Gotta get to Hines
force
here,
a
don't you?
tough shot, and that's
off.
Oh, a good shot from Ronnie
Oh my
Jackson. And all of a sudden, the tides have
So
turned.
my question for you, CJ, is when do you decide to shoot the ball here? Again, no shot clock here for the last, hopefully, game of the...
I think you you just take the first available shot here. If you miss, you have a chance for an O board here. So if you do shoot it early, guys can crash, but this ball is going to be shot.
And when do you call a timeout? If you get into a precarious situation?
Like something like that, maybe. I think Tone wants the last shot here.
Great defense by Chills. 20 to go.
Here
we go.
Down to the last shot here, John.
We're either going to get a game winner or we're going to get overtime, I think.
Antonio Marshall telling him to go at 8. Double team's coming.
Yeah, you got to make somebody else beat you here.
Stolen.
Turned over.
No, call by the Nets. I think they should add at least 2 seconds.
I think it was right about 2. I don't know that they will add it, though.
It was like 2.3.
If it were up to me, I think it'd be closer to 2.5.
That's ultimately up to the officials, correct?
What is decided? I think they're talking about it right now. They're definitely adding some time here. They're working through it. 2.4, John.
That's about right.
That's an eternity to catch and shoot.
So, if you're the Rockets, you did what you wanted to do in that you wanted to hold the ball there to the end. The Nets did what they wanted to do in forcing Marshall to give up the ball, and unfortunately for them, ball's thrown away. That's great. That was really great defense.
Yeah.
Chills said, all right, if you're not going to be in a sense of urgency, we aren't either, but we're going to make somebody else beat us. And in the end, nobody can beat them because they've got the ball with 2.4 to go.
I think if Antonio would have played that back, he may have maybe tried to initiate something a little sooner. So before the double team came, he's honestly an unselfish player. That didn't surprise me. He passes the ball there, but something like that may be costly. Let's see here, John. 2 seconds. We've seen buzzer beaters before. Ronnie Jackson gonna get a running head start. No one's touched it. Jackson for the lead. Boom! He gets it to go. Uh-oh. I did not see the clock. Ronnie Jackson called game, but I don't know what is going on right now. They want us to check the tape, but I don't know if they started the clock on time. We have no idea.
If they had started when he touched the ball, do you think it would have run out?
I think it may have.
Well, did it hit his chest when they inbounded it? That's what it looks like.
What? Did the clock stop working?
We are checking at the monitor as we speak.
It looks like it hit his chest.
And I think resetting it probably.
Didn't touch it there.
Oh, it looked like it. I thought it hit his chest there. Okay.
So yes,
I would go back to 2.
I think it's good.
They are going to replay. This is actually exactly what happened
my.
with Billy Baptist a season ago. You had a clock malfunction.
Watching the replay, I really do think.
Do you think the clock would have run out on that?
I think he may have gotten it off because he didn't touch it. Took 2 dribbles. It would have been close, John, but.
Wow. That's a tough break.
Now they know what they're going to play.
Yeah.
Giving it. It's
Oh my
stolen by
goodness
Marshall.
gracious.
Floater!
Oh!
Goodness! Overtime! I mean, you got to feel for the
That's
Nets.
a tough break.
You think you'll win the game on a crazy buzzer beater, and now it's overtime. I wish we would have seen the clock on the last play there. Poor Ronnie Jackson, one of.
And we are going into overtime, guys.
So we are trying to figure everything out right now as the scoreboard is malfunctioning a little bit. Yeah, again, you love this competitive energy. You love this competitive game. K1 is all about overtime games. We've had one each week so far now. nothing beats finishing the day with an overtime game. I thought we had a buzzer beater. That will be highly debated, John, for weeks to come, as these Nets will probably be watching the film as soon as it's posted.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's nothing. As an official, there's nothing you can do without instant replay.
And the three is no good. Mook Lawrence is just aggressively attacking the glass.
Wow.
Marshall, pull up three.
Oh my
Nailed
goodness.
it!
Antonio Marshall knocks down the three. Big shot for them in overtime.
Tone Marshall, do not give this man a second chance, given the opportunity to win the game in overtime. Still plenty of time, but that three is wide open layup as
And Montel Mason with the left hand hook inside.
sneaks open for a wide open
Minute
two.
25 remaining.
Again, no shot clock could come into factor here with the Rockets. Tone is as good as a ball as anyone is in the league.
And he gets 3 shots as he draws on the jump.
This is quite the turn of events here.
2 shots.
5-1.
Wow, 3 shots.
Wills.
No, that's right.
Now
Rockets are up
his
1.
second
Are
foul.
they wrong or am I wrong?
3 shots.
Rockets are up 1. Rockets are up 1. Tone can extend it to 4.
And he knocks down the first shot. Increasing the lead to 2.
As he makes the first. You just got a feel for the Nets here. As
It's the second one. Increasing the
things
lead
have
to 3.
unraveled.
I see it right
He misses it though. Still a 1 possession game. A 3 can tie it. Got to get Sammy the ball. Sammy's come off the screen here. He's open for the tie. It's not there. Great look from Sammy Hines.
Thanks, Rockets are home.
And
Timeout,
timeout by the Rockets. 45 seconds remaining in the game. Rockets lead by 3.
I have no idea what the score is right now.
45 seconds left. We'll be back in about a minute. John, we got 46 seconds left. This game is far from over, as we've seen turnovers and missed free throws cause crazy outcomes in games, but it's not looking great for the Nets right now, as this is it's gonna be Nets basketball.
What I was about to say is it only takes 1 turnover, and here we go.
Gray ball, he is sticking to his call. Huge turn of events, and I keep saying it, these games are never over.
I'll mention it one more time, what happened at the end of regulation. We'll break it down on the podcast, but
Yeah.
at this point, there's nothing you can do. You're going to be frustrated. It's just, I think the officials made the call they had to make based off what happened, and it's a shame for the Nets, but
Jackson can't get it to go.
at this point, all you can do is try and win the game in overtime, and the
Yes.
odds are stacked against them now.
So we got 2 shots coming here, or 1 and 1, I beg your pardon, coming here for Tone Marshall. You know, I just feel a little disheartened how this game kind of ended.
That'd be foul number 1, Chills Wills.
Yeah,
Again,
it's hard to
take
know.
nothing
but
away from the Rockets,
That'll be his third foul.
as they have definitely earned this win, or potential win in overtime. The game's not over. You hate to see a game-winning 3 go in like that and have it be potentially called off. So free throw is good.
And here's the thing. You talk about going back and checking the tape, and I'll say this now. The clock that we have here is not synced up perfectly with the clock at the scores table. So regardless of what the clock here shows, that's not going to, unfortunately, do anything, if that makes sense. This clock could say 15 minutes left right now, and it doesn't matter. The official clock comes from down there, and so
Foul. Yeah, just trying
3 to give.
Foul is on number 12, Alex Thorson.
Trying to make the Nets work for it and waste a little bit more time than they may need to. Mook Lawrence, I mean, they kind of need a 3 here. Sammy, short. Mook, back to Sammy. 3, that's short.
That's going to do it.
Yeah, it's just... The Rockets are
Crushing loss.
They're going to steal one here.
Number 21, Lonzo
There's going to be a lot of what-ifs going to happen at the end of this game. And the Nets have been on the wrong side of some tough losses over the years. This is going to be up there with them, but I mean, again, you can't take anything away from the Rockets because Antonio Marshall was electric, fantastic. Brazion was good at times. Thorson played pretty well. Like, I'm curious to see what the final stat sheet's going to end up looking like. I think Tone's going to probably have
a lot of points.
35, 40, maybe. I mean, he definitely carried the load here. Look for 3. That's short.
They didn't start the clock again.
Yes, they did.
Okay, cool.
Ronnie Jackson here at the last buzzer. It's good.
Jackson hits the 3. That's the
Timeout, Gray.
lead to 4.
Again, these guys never quit,
Timeout.
which we love that about the Nets. So we'll be back in about a minute to finish this one off here.
To get involved, go to Man on Fire, 4Z.com.
It's going to be just pass the ball in, and not sure what that was about. Chills for the 3.
And that'll be the ball game, guys. The Rockets get their
Rockets
second win.
Steal a win, and John, we mentioned it before the game, but you mentioned parity, and that is exactly what we have.
My math is right. You had 5 teams enter the day 2-0. 4 of them lost, and the only team that won was the Lakers, who played another 2-0 team. Just some shocking results today, and that's now 7 teams at 2-1, and just a crushing way to lose if you're the Nets, who probably played that final possession the right way, doubling Tone, forcing the turnover, and again, so many what-ifs. We're not going to speculate because at this point it just doesn't matter. It's just bad luck. So don't take anything away from this Rockets team, who really welcome in Hunter Jacobs and Josh Saltzgaber. What a big win, and all of a sudden, as we head into the off weekend for Labor Day, it's a very different looking picture in the standings than we had coming into today. So
Yes,
we'll have to break it down on the podcast for sure.
So thank you guys for watching and tuning in. Great week of basketball. Week 4 is going to be very interesting to see how it all shapes up, but we will see you guys in about a week. So thanks for tuning in to K1 Sports.